Live on Facebook, we are live on Instagram, and we are live on YouTube. We are scheduled to go live at 12 noon, which is going to occur in about 30 seconds here on the West Coast. Get yourselves nice and comfortable. You're in for a real treat. We're going to be with you for about 30 minutes. I was going to say 30 seconds. It'll be a little longer than 30 seconds today. And if you don't know my special guest, I'm sure you do, Phil Goldfine. He is an Academy Award-winning producer. He is a record holder for swimming. What else do we want to know about you? A father of 3 wonderful children. He runs a studio in LA, and he is here visiting for a few days because my son's getting married tomorrow. So we're going to be celebrating together. We want to welcome you. We're here to talk about beyond limitations, And then we're going to take some questions. We've already had a couple questions that have been submitted in advance. So we'll take some questions from you, and you can ask us anything at all. We may not answer, but you can certainly ask us. All right. So let's talk about limitations. What are your thoughts on what limitations are and how we put limitations on ourselves?
Well, I think the most important thing is that it's to understand it's really a paradigm. So when you say limitations, it's your limitation that you're putting upon yourself, which is a paradigm, which I feel is learned. So I try to not even use that word, and basically it's really always about focusing on what you want. And it goes back to what you've always said, is that what would you love? And so if it's a limitation, believe me, when you're thinking about the limitation, that's what you're getting more of. So you're getting more of the limitation, even though you don't want it. Because you and I have always said, and it goes over and over to this, is that you are manifesting 24/7. So you're either manifesting what you want or what you don't want. So the limitation is definitely a learned paradigm.
So true.
And I truly feel that there are no limitations in terms of what man can do. We know that we can't fly. Someday we will, if people believe that. But we know we can't fly. But you can do anything in this life that you want to do. And I think it was Michael Beckwith, right, who said, God wouldn't give you something which you can't do. It's like, if you want to do it, then God's giving it to you because he knows you can do it.
Right. So the idea pops in your mind of something you'd like to do. There's no limitation.
No limitations.
Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. It's just what you acknowledge. Like, I remember a number of years ago working with Gay Hendricks, who wrote a book called The Big Leap. And he talked about the upper limit problem. And we're talking about, beyond limitations here. And the upper limit problem is where you have a belief, and that's the paradigm that you're talking about, where you have a belief that you can't do something or you can't accomplish something, and therefore you can't. And, quite simply, if we think about what Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you can. Yeah, you can. Right. If you think you can't, you can't.
Right. It really is that simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I love that.
It's totally simple. So, how to know what your own limitations are really comes down to look at your results. Right? Look at your results, because everything we create in our life, from our finances to our, speaking of limitations. So Phil, have you seen my Oscar
I haven't seen it in person.
There.
Oh, it's heavy too.
It's like yours.
Wow, it feels like the real one. It's great.
Well, it is the real one. It's the real one in my mind. Now you see what it says on there, right?
Best motion picture, Savvy Wisdom. I love that. Wow, this is awesome.
Isn't that great?
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I have this picture over here.
So heavy.
And that was a
oh wow.
Yeah, just for those of you that can see this picture. This was a, what do you call it when you
Photoshop?
Yeah, thank you. Photoshopped. This was Photoshopped, but a part of that was visualization. So we're talking about beyond your limitations. One of the ways that you can go beyond your limitations is by impressing the new idea, or the idea of what you would love, the outcome that you would love, in your consciousness over and over again. So how do you do that? Like, when there's no evidence of your outcome in sight, but you have a desire.
Such a great question.
Yeah.
It's, again, let's go back to simple, right? Simple is just, what would you love? What is it you want? Now you think about it, and you have to use your imagination, and your will, of course, to just keep impressing that on your mind. That's all it is. It's very simple.
All day long.
Now it's simple, but it's not easy, because we have so many distractions in our lives.
Right.
We have so many paradigms that we're fighting against. Just let it all. You need to focus on letting that all go and really only focusing on what you want. It is so simple.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
like, I remember the time that you and I were doing the Masters Manifesting event in Sarasota.
Oh, I do.
And we we're talking about gratitude. And of course, as we know in the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, there's a whole chapter on gratitude. And gratitude is really designed to bring you more, right? Like, and I mean, there's a number of things that gratitude will do for you. One, it'll cause you to feel good when you're in the state of gratitude.
Always.
And it'll also, you can use gratitude as a manifestation tool, like being grateful in advance. And I remember what you said when we were on stage, that you do it all day long.
All day long.
Mhm.
You're always being grateful. There's always something to be grateful for. And once you can focus on that, something else will pop up and something else will pop up. And that puts you in the state of mind, into the vibration of where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because again, it's using the law of attraction, right? You are going to attract whatever it is that you are feeling and emotionally with. And so if you are emotionally thinking and knowing and being so happy that you have achieved what it is you want, it's just like Peggy. So Peggy has an Academy Award, and I got to tell you, it's just like the real Academy Award. It's just as heavy as the real Academy Award, and the gold and the base. I mean, it is the real Academy Award. And so she basically has this, and every time that you pick this up, look at it, how does it make you feel?
Oh, it feels great. Like it's already done. And that's the idea, right?
Exactly. So now she's attracting it. I mean, she attracted everything about that. And so the entire universe is conspiring in a good way to get her exactly what she wants.
I like this question. Just see this one from Kevin. When's Masters Manifesting 2022? Great question, Kevin. Let me ask you a question. Yeah. Are you coming? Are you coming, Kevin? If so, we'll book it. Actually, I was thinking about that.
I definitely want to do that again.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We'll do that again. We'll commit to you to do it again. Maybe we could do like September time frame or something like that.
I love that.
All right. So Connie's asking the question, how do you hold gratitude all day long? Because you mentioned that, like, how do you do it? Just which one's more specific?
So Connie, exactly like we just said, right? So what are you grateful for right now, Connie? So I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. And it can be as simple as the fact that I was feeling a little hungry, so I just had a power bar. And, I feel really good. The power
Peggy's not feeding him.
That now gets me to another. What else are you grateful for? Well, I'm grateful for Peggy's dog. He's so cute, and he's like just curling around on me. And then I'm grateful for what else? I'm doing another movie that I just absolutely love. What else? I'm doing another Broadway play that I'm so grateful for. And all of a sudden you find yourself, Connie, thinking about it all the time. And that's all you're really thinking about. And so the universe, again, is conspiring to bring it all towards you at a rushing speed. That's how you do it.
So, like, Phil, I know you have a particular goal in swimming. We don't have to say what it is.
Yeah.
But how do you do that? Do you do gratitude for that during the day?
Absolutely. All day long, even in the pool, because it doesn't matter. All that matters is what you want. And I really want this. So I want to win this world record. And so it's all I'm thinking about, and how great.
But as if it's done, right? You're thinking about it as if it's done.
Finished.
Okay, great.
And I also have love the process. I love the process of getting into shape and swimming to get that record. I love it. So that's another way. Wow.
Look at all the questions. Okay.
Oh my God.
They're coming in fast and furious now. Well, not furious, but fast. Okay. Maria has a couple questions here. We saw this one in advance. I'm sorry, YouTube, if our screen is shaking. I see that when we touch our desk. Yeah. So we'll try and keep our hands off the desk. Okay, Maria, 2 questions here. And we looked at Maria's questions actually before we started. We absolutely are grateful for you, Maria, for asking, and we have the answers for you. So the first one is, I've seen sometimes on Instagram and other social media platforms accounts with the names of the struggles those individuals are having: infertility, trouble conceiving, anxiety, depression, etc. And their accounts are focused on these struggles. I'm in no way belittling what they're going through, but can you please talk about this? Is this the right approach? Or is this something that they are attracting more of? And yes, I mean, she asked the question, she answered it in the question. And yes, they are attracting more of what they don't want by constantly giving it energy and attention.
Absolutely. And so in this particular case, I would say focus on what you want. So one of the things that you talk about is infertility and depression. Rather, I would focus on how happy I'm and why I'm so happy. And then also about like how I feel if I had a child. What kind of child? Boy, a girl, and how it makes me feel. That's what you always want to focus on. You never want to focus on the negative, because Maria, you're right. You're getting more of that.
And it may take a little while to get there, right? It might take, a bit of time. And, it's really what you're looking to do for anyone that's going through that, I saw another question that just came on Instagram about, emotional challenges. And like, if you haven't read Savvy Wisdom, you've got to get Savvy Wisdom for sure. But, the book starts with a girl by the name of Sophie who was going through like severe depression. She wanted to kill herself. I think that's, other than going the next step, that's pretty much as close as you can get. That was me. That was my life. And, I was very grateful to have met Bob Proctor when I was a young girl in January 1979. That's when everything changed, but it didn't change, boom, just like that overnight. This has been, a study, a dedication. We were talking this morning about addictions, right? Addictive behavior. We're both addicted to these materials. We're addicted to the books. We're addicted to learning. We're addicted to discovering. We're addicted to having better results. And so when you're really seriously committed to better results, when you're seriously committed to create a better feeling state and to practice what we're talking about here, using your imagination. That's what Neville Goddard says in Awaken Imagination. Like the reason why people fail is because they don't feel it naturally. They don't feel the result naturally. Well, at first you're not going to feel it naturally, right? Because it's not the way you're accustomed to thinking. But through repetition of continually studying, you'll get to a point where you'll definitely feel it naturally. All right. The next question that Maria had is, we might be on here longer than 30 minutes. Okay. I recently received some challenging news about the son of an acquaintance. His little boy has been struggling with an unknown condition for the last 2 years, loss of speech and motor skills. I have helped through his GoFundMe page so that he can go on treatment. And I'm also imagining this little boy running and playing with his father as he was prior to him getting this condition. But as a mother myself, I get anxious and emphasize so much with how they are as parents must be feeling. So I go back and forth imagining him healthy, but also having anxiety and heartbreak about his outcome. Any tips on how I can focus more on his full recovery?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, the most important thing, Maria, is go back to what you were saying, where I am also imagining this little boy running and playing with his father as he was prior to him getting this condition. That's the only thing you want to focus on, nothing else, only that. Just focus on that. It will happen. You must believe it. You must know it, and you figure out how it makes you feel. The happier and the higher vibration you have, the more that the universe is going to conspire to make sure that little boy is running and being happy again with his father. That's it. Nothing else. Don't you agree? Yeah.
Oh, totally agree. 100%. Like, I think about when James ended up in the hospital and they didn't know what was wrong. And he was on life support. And I called Bob at 4 a.m. and he said, just see him, riding his bike, see him laughing, see him playing. And that's exactly what we did. All right. Next question is from Monique. I always hear you have to study every day, but about what? All right. Well, it depends. It depends on, what are you looking to accomplish? Like we study every day. We study personal and professional development. Oh, hang on here a second. Sorry about that, guys. That's the caterer confirming tomorrow. Anyways, she did say she would call just after 12. So I guess she is. So we study, like I have a study group and it's called Club Achieve. And we're studying the Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. So we're studying materials that give you the understanding to make positive change in your life and to manifest what you desire. So why is study important? It's important for growth.
Yes.
Right.
And to keep you in the vibration of what you want. Again, it's so easy to get distracted, as all these questions are showing us. Study keeps you in the vibration of what you want. I also find, Peggy, and I don't know if you see this as well, but the universe kind of guides you into what you need to study right now.
Yeah. So true.
So I notice if I'm feeling something where why aren't I getting what I wanted to get? Well, that's awareness, right? And so all of a sudden I'll see the book and I'll pick it up and I'll start studying that. That's what study is. And Peggy and I were talking about this one time. It's joy to study every single day.
Oh,
and it keeps
absolutely.
you in such a great vibration.
Oh yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. You should definitely be into daily study. Okay. Sean's asking, hey, Sean, are you coming? Now, Sean, we're going to do a master's manifesting. You have to promise to come to that.
Another one. Okay.
Yeah. So there's another one. Okay. So that's a prompt from the universe, I think, right? We've got to get that organized. All right. I'm going to get that booked. All right. That one we already answered. Okay. Nancy, I have finished a 600-page historical novel that I know will be a fabulous 1-hour series on TV. Only 1 hour? probably longer. I've just read that Netflix requires a literary agent. What do you suggest I do next along that road? Thank you, Phil. This one's for you, my friend.
Well, I mean, if that's what Netflix wants. Now again, I mean, I have an overall deal with Netflix. And so the way that it works is that either whoever told you that is right, but it's a couple of things. You could go with an established producer who's got a track record of producing stuff for Netflix. And it's not just Netflix, by the way. It's also Hulu's looking for that. In fact, Peggy, you and I were just talking about HBO Max, Hulu, Crave. They're all looking for great series now, and movies as well. But so it's either a franchise literary agent or a manager who basically is a literary manager, established producer, anybody with any kind of deal or background with any of these kinds of powerful streamers. That's the way to get it done. So you don't have to be limited to just a franchise agent. It could also, by the way, be your entertainment attorney. So many different roads in.
And you know what? Nancy, just see the end result of what you desire. That's your responsibility.
Yeah.
See what you would love. Like we think about savvy wisdom, like it's in the great hands of Phil Goldfine here. And my responsibility, is to see the end result. It's already a motion picture. Matter of fact, I bought my dress for the Oscars. So we're all set that way too. Okay, CJ Smith. Where can I order one of those Oscars? Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good question.
I got that.
Me too.
You're going to get a case full of them, aren't you? Oopsie, don't worry about that. It's just the cord on my computer. Where can you get those Oscars? Well, I believe I bought it on Etsy, ETSY. I think that's where I got it. It was a place, wow, I think out of Florida. Now they weren't cheap. They were something like, well, it's all relative, right?
I was gonna say, I'm sure it's cheaper than the.
I think it was around $600-700. Oh, Jojo, little Jojo says yes. That's the price. He's confirming. Just kidding. Okay, Susan, what do you do to stay focused on what you want and have almost always high vibes? Ooh, I love that question. Okay, so I'm gonna get you answer that one, Phil. I'm gonna let my dog.
Well, once again, it's about staying focused on what you want, and again, recognizing that there are all these distractions that could pop up, and easily, if you're not focused on this, you're so easily swayed towards the negative as opposed to staying focused on what you want. It really is that simple. Who's that? Susan. It's that simple, Susan. That's all it is. Now, I know that you're going to say, yeah, but what happens if, I don't know, the dog barks? What happens if you get pulled over for a ticket? What happens if you can't pay the mortgage? This is now what you're focusing on. Just get off of that. Imagine what you would like, what you would love. And that's all you have to do. And I know that to a lot of people, this sounds really simple and overly simplified. But what Bob always explained to me, Bob Proctor always explained to me, is that it is simple. It's just not easy because we have so many paradigms that are like, that we are in a way born with, right? I mean, because our parents and their parents and our parents' parents.
True.
I mean, so you're picking that all up. You just have to be sure that you're only focused on what you want. And believe me, Susan, it works every single time. Peggy will confirm that, but I can tell you from my experience, I get everything that I've always wanted.
Yeah,
always.
And it's amazing when you get there, because the truth is, it's like the biggest benefit when you actually accomplish your goals is not what you get. It's not. You will, benefit from that, of course. But the biggest benefit is who you become, because what you're really doing is you're strengthening yourself and you're bringing out this power that's already within you.
Exactly.
Right? It's already there. It's not something that you have to go get or you go to a store and purchase. It's that ability, the power is already within you. So if you think about being a conditioned being, a habitual being, what are you doing all day long? How are you thinking? How are you feeling? Because that's all habitual. So you want to establish some really solid habits that are supportive of what you want. So if looking at visuals like this, all around my room, I have visuals everywhere, but I also listen. I put in my earbuds. I listen to them early in the morning. I'm listening to me talk to me about how incredible my life is with my Power Life script. I do my mirror work. I do my affirmations, and I'm doing all these things. And it's not to just do the things. The idea behind it is to feel the genuine gratitude in advance of what I desire. So we're talking about always high vibes. The more you can get into high vibes, the better it's going to go for you.
Right. And then the more natural it becomes.
Exactly.
It's always that way.
You want to get to that point where it's so natural for you. You don't have to think about it. It's just like, oh yeah, done. You're acting like that person. You're thinking like that person. You're behaving like that person. And right now, if that's not the way you are, we'll just understand it's going to take some time until you get there. But that only occurs from doing the work. And the work involves the daily study, the daily practice, the doing the affirmations with the conviction. And if you don't have the depth of understanding, then get into the study and because that's what'll definitely make the difference.
It really is. It's so true. I mean, once you're into the study, it just starts coming naturally.
So true.
And you miss it, right? If you don't do it for a day, you miss
totally,
it. Yeah.
Totally. Okay, Claudia. It says Claudia. Okay, Phil, why don't you write a book about your experience with this thinking stuff, what Bob thought you, etc.? I would love it, and I want the first copy with your autograph.
Wow.
Hey, I like that idea.
Yeah.
There's the universe sending you a message. Write that book, Phil.
Okay.
I think you did start working on something, didn't you? Or
Nick's going
to work on it. Yeah. All right, great. Thank you. Great suggestion. Okay, Marianne, can you affect another? My boyfriend who is 16, is that 16,000?
16 kilometers away.
It's 16.000. Yeah, anyways, he's away. He has a herniated disc in his neck and is in pain and not sleeping much at all. Can I do the same thing you did with your grandson, Peggy? Definitely, yeah.
Just do exactly that. Just focus on him the way you want him to be.
Oh, I love this next question. Too crazy, too cool is the person that's asking this question. Does affirmations as well as visualization play a big role in your goal achieving? Now, here's how I would answer that. Only if when you're doing your affirmations and when you're doing a visualization, you are genuinely feeling the emotions of what you desire.
If you're just going through the motions, it does not work at all.
Right.
Learn that the hard way. So.
Yes. So true. You guys get to benefit from us learning the hard way.
It could just be one affirmation. It could be 1,000 affirmations. It doesn't matter as long as you're feeling it. Like Peggy's talking about, if you're feeling it, it's going to work. It always works. The one thing that Bob always said, remember, he said, this always works.
Definitely.
Always.
Yeah.
You're so right.
And, even in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, he says, you will certainly get rich with mathematical precision. So if we take 2 plus 2, we're always going to get 4. We're not going to get 5. We're not going to get some other number. Always going to get 4. It's exact. The same thing with you when you're working in harmony with your goals, feeling or with the universe, feeling as if they're already in your life, you will accomplish those goals.
Always.
Like this is done. Your world record is done. Right. Like every other goal that we've set for ourselves are done. It's a knowing it's done. When you don't know. When is the part that some people feel challenged by, right? Like that gestation period.
And a lot of people want to know how. And there's no way to ever know how.
That is another area of big challenge for a lot of people. I remember one time Bob said, if you're asking how, you're demonstrating your ignorance.
Right.
And so what he means is the ignorance of the laws, right?
So I always go back to childlike. Because, Bob always said, it's like, what I love about you guys is that you guys are childlike. You just accept it with pure gratitude and joy. And it always happens. Doesn't matter how old you are. I don't care if you're 80 years old, it does not matter.
Yeah. I made this little blue sign that says, accept, assume, expect.
God, that's awesome.
So I accept all the good I desire. So you want to accept it for yourself, whatever it is that you want, because a lot of people have issues around deserving and worthiness, right? I accept all the good I desire as if it's already done. I assume all the good I desire is absolutely done. Like I think one of your favorite laws is the law of assumption.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're so good at that.
You just assume that you already had it. Right?
Yeah. And then expect. It's very similar. I live in the Joyce expectancy of the best. You want to always be expecting the best for yourself and others, not just yourself, others as well.
You guys should see the place where Peggy lives. It's unbelievable. It's just so magnificent and beautiful because she just knew that she always wanted this and she got it. And she's done it multiple times.
Oh, I'm still in the manifestation mode here. Lots more to manifest. Okay, great stuff. What do we have here? Oh, Jane is here. Hey, Jane, good to see you here. How do you stay focused on the wish fulfilled when sometimes you feel the lack of what you want?
Stop thinking about the lack of what you want. Only focus on the wish fulfilled, just like you just said up there. Eliminate that last part. When somebody feels, no, you only feel the wish fulfilled. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Peggy, you got a lot of questions.
You're popular.
Yeah.
Thank you. Look at, we got a nice comment up there. You're the best. Awesome stuff. Thank you. We love this. We love serving.
It's really fun.
This is fun. Okay. So yeah, Jane, how do you stay focused on the wish fulfilled? You're in control of how you think. You're in control of what you're focusing on. Do not allow yourself to go off that way. Jane, I know you've heard the story of many, many years ago when I bought that house and I didn't have the money to buy it at the time. And I would find myself easily swaying off track, right? It's like you're on this projection, you're seeing yourself there. Then I would go like, oh my God, what if I don't come up with the money? What if I end up out in the streets? Like what, I'm going to be a single mom with a little boy out in the street. And I would just say to myself, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love? And this was my switching technique. It would just snap me right out of it. Okay, what would I love? Owning this home. Okay, what's that feel like? Oh, it feels great. Okay, go straight to feeling, Peggy. And that was the process. And this is how you do it. You do it until you condition yourself where you don't even have to think about it anymore.
I'll tell you what mine was. I had a rubber band around my wrist, and every time it would just like immediately get me right back into it. So just come up with something that works for you, Jane. But again, only focus on the wish fulfilled.
Yeah.
It really is that simple. It really is.
So good. All right, Kelly, when I visualize, I find it hard to see things through my eyes. Is it okay to visualize like you're watching a movie, seeing yourself on the screen? Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever you want. I mean, when I visualize, I find it hard to see things through my eyes. Okay, but that's your words, right? So you're already telling yourself, Kelly, that I find it hard to see things through my eyes. So that's what you're telling the universe. The universe is giving you more what you want. But on the other hand, you can go ahead and do it the way that you're talking about. Just watch it as a movie. I do that a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I see the movies going on all the time. And the other I know I keep having to go back up. When I visualize, I find it, and really think about the point of visualization. What is the purpose of visualizing? The purpose of visualization is to create the image in your mind, which creates the thoughts, which creates the feelings, which means you put yourself into what's called vibratory rate. You're vibrating in a certain way. And the law of vibration, actually, the law of attraction is a subsidiary law of the law of vibration. Right. So when you're vibrating in a way that you know and feel that your desire is already here, what are you doing? You're attracting it to you. And that's why in many of the great books and the masters all say, you will attract everything requisite for the fulfillment of your desire. It's like Phil said earlier, you don't have to know how. You don't have to know how. And if you're someone who feels like you have to have every single step figured out along the way, this could be a new way of being for you. It may not be common practice for you, but the truth is, success is quite often defying the logic. It's defying the way we, we're been taught, right? But that's the way we manifest. How can I send an email to Phil?
Call Vladdy. Email Vladdy. She's got all my information.
Vladdy, I'll get it to you. Vladdy@PeggyMcColl.com. I'm sure, Nancy, you have her email address. Jan, I'm writing children's stories and I love them. Question for Phil. I'm curious, how is a script chosen for an animation movie?
Okay, well, it's exactly the same way a script is chosen for any movie, right? You're looking at something that's going to be marketable, that a studio, a streamer, or a network is going to pick up. Is it packageable? By that I mean, like, what kind of voices can you put into it that are attractive to that family audience, that 4-quadrant movie, if you will. How else? So it really is essentially exactly the same way. So you're going to look at an animation film the same way that you're going to look at a narrative film or a documentary. Who's the audience? Is it marketable? Can we sell it? Can we get it made? Is it doable? It's all the same criteria.
That's so good. Thank you for that. Okay, our next question is from Palashtakam. And I apologize if I'm not saying your name properly. All I understood is that using LOA brings plots, plans, conditions, and circumstances. The universe does most of the work, but it wants us to be in action, and the work does not have to be hard. Is it? And what is the work hard?
It depends.
Yeah, it depends. You
Depends
think
what
it's
you
hard?
think, yeah.
Yeah, if you think it's hard or you think it's not, it will be. You know, I wrote a book called Darn Easy. Work half as hard, earn twice as much while living the life of your dreams.
Oh, I love that.
I think it's attitude.
Yeah.
I really believe it's your attitude. Whether you think it's hard or you think it's not,
It
like,
really is.
yeah. And when you love it, like when you love what you're doing and when it doesn't feel like work at all.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
BIWE Network. Can I have a time frame for my goals? I plan to achieve some stuff this year. Can I manifest it this year, or should I let universe handle the timing? Okay.
That's a great question.
It is a great question. They're all great questions,
They
aren't
really
they?
are, yeah.
I believe you manifest in the now. This is how you manifest. You've got to feel as if it's here now. So I never put a date on my goal as something in the future, because you're attracting based on how you're feeling. So when you feel as if it's here now, you're attracting it to you. How long will it take? Well, that is the universe's job.
And I love that. I just think that it's whatever you say.
Yes.
Okay, plan to achieve some stuff this year. Well, do you? Are you achieving the stuff this year? You need to basically just figure out how that makes you feel. I am so happy and grateful now that I've achieved blah, blah, blah. And so if you can really stay in that vibration, you're going to achieve it. Peggy and I have talked about this before. I truly believe that you can manifest whatever it is that you want by just sitting at your desk and manifesting it. And that means, of course, letting the universe do what it has to do, whatever it is. I tell a lot of people sometimes that if you want to manifest $1 million, I truly believe that you can manifest $1 million sitting at your desk, and it will happen. Peggy, you told an example just last night about something where you were thinking about something and the phone rang. Oh, we were talking about the house.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
You can manifest anything. But
this was going back a couple of years now. And Danny and I were in a particular home at the time. And I was thinking about the process of selling it and how my husband's not a fan of having a house for sale because of the interruptions, right? From visits and things like that. So I thought to myself one morning, I would love to see this be easy. I would love to see the whole thing unfold in a way that really, works for us based on the conditions that we desire. And an hour later, my phone rang.
And that was one morning, right?
It was one morning,
just thinking about
and I just thought, okay, what would I love? It really goes with these lines, the process of saying, what would I love? Determine what that would feel like. And you see it vividly. Neville Goddard often taught, see it vividly real with your senses. So what would you see? What would you hear? What would you be experiencing, while this outcome has unfolded? And not necessarily the how, just the outcome unfolded, the end result. And so I began to see that, and I decided, okay, this is done. And I said nothing to no one. And an hour later, my phone rang, and it was my real estate agent. Now, our house was not on the market at the time. And it was our real estate agent calling saying, hey, I know you're not, looking to sell your house right now, but would you be interested in selling it? I have a buyer who's interested in it. And we were totally interested in selling it. So I said, let me talk to my husband. I'll get back to you. And I told Denny about it. He's like, hell yeah, let's do it. So we came out with our price, and we told our realtor, we said, we're only going to do it if they agree to pay our price and they agree that we find our next house first. And he said, oh, they're not going to go for that. And I said, write it up. And he did, and they accepted it. And he was stunned. And that's how it all unfolded. So very, very easily. And it happened quickly.
That's such a perfect example, though. I mean, think about it. You were sitting here. I remember that day. You were sitting here. You were just thinking about it. Boom, it happens because you got into that vibration. So as long as you can really get that, and I would encourage you guys to review this, because that's all it takes.
It's so true.
Seriously, it's all it takes.
It's so true. I know people sometimes when they're studying, I did this. I mean, I remember studying like back in the 80s thinking it has to be more complicated than this, because I was on this search, right? I'm searching for it. Must be more complicated.
Paradigm.
Yeah, that's exactly what that was. A paradigm. All right. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. So,
oh my God! It's just that. Did you manifest anything recently? Which you were? Can you just answer the question?
Yeah, manifest anything recently?
Well, not even for some time. I mean, you were only doing it for an hour.
Yeah, that definitely. I'm thinking of other things. Manifesting something quick, something relatively quick. There's so many things. I mean, whether they're big or small, it doesn't really matter. Manifested a beautiful wedding for my son and daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
That's happening tomorrow. we're in the process of manifesting things right now. You see, both of us live and we reside in the place in our consciousness of it's already done.
Right.
So that's what you want to do as well. Okay, Maria Davis.
Marie
says,
Antoinette.
Yeah, Antoinette Davis.
Oh, Antoinette.
Oh my God, I caught you both live. I've been visualizing working with both of you, Peggy, for the Admit One. How can we make that happen? It's happened in my mind.
Wow.
Well, we work we work in harmony with the universe, with seeing it already done. Well, thank you, Rasha. It's good to see you. All right. Okay. And we have another question here. And we're gone beyond the 30-minute mark, but that's okay. We like to give more in use value than what they're paying in dollar value. No, they didn't pay anything to be here. Wait a minute, just kidding. Okay, Palesh says, what to do if you want something, but some of the work is really not what you want to do? There. How do you like
you're
that?
you're already conflicting with yourself. Forget about the work is not really what you want to do. Just see it as whatever it is that you want. This question,
Yes.
Palesh, you need what to do if you want something. That's all you need to know.
Yes.
What is it you want? It will come to you the way that you want it.
Yeah, that's really assuming. And we talked earlier about assumption, right? That's assuming it's going to be hard. And that's assuming you're going to have to do work you don't want to do.
And giving conflict to the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. Okay, so Palesh really wants this, but wait, Palesh doesn't want to do the work to get there. But she wants this, but she doesn't want to do the work to get to it. You're never going to get there.
Right. Or struggle or do work that you don't want to do, for sure. So yeah, you have to see, when we're talking about, I know we're speaking fast, right?
Oh,
and I no, both of us, and I tend to do that as well. But when you decide what you would love, there's so much of this creation process that you have to understand that you have to get out of your own way, right? Like Bob Proctor used to say, you're your only problem. You're also your only solution.
Right.
And, I absolutely believe that. And I say to people, go look in the mirror if you want to know where the solution is, and go look in the mirror if you want to know where the problem is. It's the same thing. And so, so many people don't even realize that they're doing it. And we do it too, from time to time as well. And so you have to develop what we like to call heightened awareness, right? Simply be aware, always aware of how you're feeling at any time. And when you find yourself, I was going to say if, but the truth is it's more like when you find yourself going in the opposite direction or going into a place of thinking, this is going to be hard, or I don't know how I'm going to do this, or I'd really love this, but it's not there yet, or you're feeling desperate or whatever, you're completely out of alignment.
Absolutely.
How do you know if you're in alignment? You know you're in alignment by how you feel.
Right.
When you feel the knowing this is already done, like I said, I already bought my dress for the Academy Awards. When you know in your heart it's already done, it's just a matter of time. Now, how much time can be the challenge for lots of people because they want it now. Of course, you'll have it now. Oh dear. You'll have it now in consciousness. And this is what you want to understand is that all manifestation occurs first here. It comes from what Wallace D. Wattles calls a thinking substance. It comes from your thought, right? You first think the thought in your mind. And as Phil said earlier, you wouldn't have even had the thought if the ability wasn't there for you to manifest it. So when you think that thought, you got to notice, am I also feeling the feelings of it's already done? In the beginning, you won't because you've never done this before. But when you get into the habit of focusing on now that my dream is fulfilled, how do I feel? And you consciously ask yourself that question and answer that question and emotionally connect to the answer, you're manifesting it. Like it is on its way. Now, in your mind and in your heart, you're feeling like it's here now. Yes, it's on its way, but you're not saying it's on its way. If you keep saying to the universe, my goal is on its way, where's your goal going to be? On its way. It's going to remain outside of you. But when you claim it, and that's what Phil said earlier, as if it's here now, you make a statement of fact. I am so happy and grateful now that I've broken the world record. I'm the record holder for the 50-meter, men's freestyle.
Exactly. That's it. It's so simple. I don't know who asked that question, but it's so simple. It really is.
Oh, this is a good one. That next question is from Troy. How do you feel about comparing yourself to others? Saying why do they deserve that? Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That is
don't even go there.
Yeah, don't go there. That is it's interesting, as we were talking about this morning when we were doing our Starbucks run, is that, when you harbor any bad feelings about anyone else, and I'm saying bad feelings, and it could be jealousy, envy. Like there's a whole chapter in Bob Proctor's book, You Were Born Rich, called Envy is Ignorance. Yeah. Now that simply means not knowing. But when you feel genuine gratitude for somebody else's success, that's good for you. Yeah. It's good for you. You want to be feeling good for someone else. Even if you feel like, I don't know, you've been wronged or whatever, let that go. That will not serve you. It's going to hold you back. It's only going to harm you. So let any emotions that don't feel good, let them go. All right, we're going to take 2 more questions and we're going to call it a wrap for today. Okay, Pam says, how can you visualize, I like this, a dream home and feel as being yours when you only have a picture of what you would love and you don't know where it is or will be or how it will feel being in it?
Boy, are you asking the right question to Peggy.
That's right. I love that question. The truth is, you're saying that you don't know how you would feel. You do know how you'd feel. So get rid of that part of the question. So, and there's a reason why you want the dream house. And the reason is because of how you're going to feel. It's not for the bricks and the, whatever, the windows. That's not why you want the dream home. You want the dream home because it's going to feel good to be in your dream home. So answer this question. Now that you've purchased and paid for and you're living in your dream home, Pam, how are you feeling? And what are the characteristics of what you would love to have in your home? Like, would you love high ceilings? Would you love lots of space? Would you love a big piece of property? Would you love to have a view of water? Would you love to have multiple bedrooms and guest rooms and a large garage? Would you love to have a pool in your backyard? Or would you like to be in the penthouse suite, downtown New York City? Like, what is it that you would love? So even though right now you don't know where it is, that's okay. Because the most powerful thing that you can do is feel as if you're in your dream home now. And it's going to show up.
It's so perfect. I mean, that's all it is, dude. Like Peggy just said, all you are is you're just feeling what you want. And it shows up.
It shows up.
Just like Peggy's.
And sometimes in miraculous ways. So one of the things that I'm manifesting right now is another property on the water. And there's a particular area that I'm looking at that I love. And so I declare that we own this place in this area. And there's nothing for sale right now. Well, actually, there's one, but it's not
what
it.
You want. It's not.
But in my mind, I'm already seeing it. I'm already feeling it. It's already done in my imagination. And that's what you want to do. And then what'll happen? Boom, it'll show up. It'll either show up on the real estate website or the phone will ring and it'll be, someone saying, hey, I heard that you were interested in this area and my neighbor is thinking of selling. And like this morning, my sister's next door and I could see there was someone at her door. So I'm sending her a text going, who's at your door? What's going on? Like the nosy neighbor, right? What's going on over there? And she said, well, these women came knocking on the door wanting to know if they wanted to sell the house because they're looking to purchase a bungalow and the house is a bungalow. And I'm thinking that's the kind of thing that can happen. The surprising, and that's most often the way manifestations
Absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely.
In a surprising way. Not always the way you think. It's quite often occurs in a surprising way.
Mine tends to be about business and my business and what I want. And if I just get that vibration while it's already there. I was telling Peggy a story about a major streamer who basically wants me to personally produce their movie. And I've always wanted that. I wanted that call. I didn't do anything for it. I just imagined it. I knew that that's what I wanted. And I just got into that vibration and it happened.
Yeah, amazing. Well, think about your Tony, when you won your Tony.
The Tony. Oh my God, it was so quick. I mean, it's 14 months.
Yeah, and you weren't in Broadway, or you weren't in the Broadway business.
First Broadway show ever. Yeah.
First Broadway show, nominated for what, 11?
11 Tonys, we won 2.
Yeah, that's Tootsie. Tootsie's on Broadway. And
Tootsie the musical, by the way, coming to a city near you again. We're in year 2 of the tour.
Yeah, make sure, look for Tootsie. So they're going to do a tour later. They're going to start touring again in September.
Yeah, so we finish up in June, and then we go on hiatus until October again, and then we go for another year.
Yeah, so watch for it. It's coming to a city near you, and then it's going to go international as well. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Good stuff. All right. One more question. We're going to call it a wrap for today. This question is from Vincent. If I have a clear vision, pictures up in a vision environment, and I'm using daily emotionalized affirmations with a goal to produce an animation version of my first novel with you and Phil, is there anything else I should be doing?
Wow. Write the novel.
Probably already done.
With it.
Yeah, it's Vincent. It's already done.
Okay, great.
So, Vincent, this is another fabulous question. So what else should I do? So first of all, I love what I just read because Vincent, it sounds like you're doing the right things. But here's what happens as well. This is so important. When you feel the alignment of knowing that this is already done, what's going to happen for you? It's not like you sit back and put your arms up and go like, oh, universe is taking care of this. You now must be open to receive. All right. What are you going to receive? You're going to receive ideas. You're going to receive the steps to get you there. Now, they won't be clear, crystal clear going, oh, Peggy, here's the next thing you do. Da, da, da. You'll get like, even with Savvy Wisdom as an example, I had to write the book, right? Had to get it to Phil. Then, an idea popped in my mind one day of a particular actor who had similar experience to what happened in Savvy Wisdom too. And I contacted Phil and I said, hey, Phil, I was driving down the road and this idea popped in my mind for this particular gentleman who could also play Savvy, by the way. And so what I did was I contacted Phil. So what I suggest you do, Vincent, is while you're in that state of knowing that you have already accomplished your goal, which is what you're doing right now, stay open to different ideas that are going to come to you.
And I was even going to say, Peggy, just from what you wrote here, I'm interested in knowing more about it. Like, what's it about? Maybe reading it. I mean,
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there you go, Vincent. Like, if that wasn't an open invitation. So
yeah, definitely. I want to know more about it.
You can email support@peggymccall.com and we'll get it over to Phil.
I should be saying that. I should be saying Vladdy.
That's okay. And Vladdy's very kind and open and she's willing to do whatever it takes. She's just that kind of gal. Nah, she doesn't mind at all. Vladdy has that spirit of service,
yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty darn awesome.
It really is.
All right. Well, everyone, it has been such a pleasure to be here with you guys today. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. That was so fun.
I love
doing so. Wow.
Yeah.
An hour almost went by.
I know. It just goes by so much when you're having fun. All right, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to be here with you and we'll be back again real soon. Bye. And of course, we'll make the replay available too. Have yourself a wonderful day. Let me go close all my thingies here.